The phone rang at 11:37 p.m. I almost ignored it. Then I saw Mom's name glowing on the screen. Her voice cracked the moment I answered. We're going to lose the house." The words sliced through my sleepy fog. My chest tightened before my mind caught up. "How much?" I asked, already opening my laptop. "Just this once," she said through sobs. 60 million. Your father's business had a setback." I clicked transfer without thinking. The number fell from my account like a stone. She thanked me, voice suddenly steady again. "We raised such a good girl." Dad got on the line, gruff and brief. "Won't happen again, sweetheart, just a tough month." It happened again the next month. And the next. Each call came softer, practiced, less desperate. "Only temporary," they said. "Just until the contract clears." But the contracts never cleared. I started cutting coffee, skipping dinners, saving cents. Then stopped checking my balance altogether. 6 months later, I automated the transfers. Easier than hearing the guilt in their voices. I stopped waiting for repayment. Stopped hoping they would remember. Photos appeared online. Mom's new handbag, Dad's golf trip. I scrolled past with a dull ache in my chest. Lynn posted her new condo key, smiling wide. "Adulting," she captioned it. Mom commented with hearts and pride. No one mentioned my name. I deferred my MBA for the second time. "Financial circumstances," I wrote in the form. My hands trembled as I hit send. I told friends I couldn't travel. "Tight month," I said again and again. They stopped inviting me eventually. Nights were ramen and silence. Days were work and pretending. Sometimes I dreamed of the house on Maple Street. The oak tree, the window seat, the Sunday roasts. The home I was paying to keep alive. But it wasn't my home anymore. It was a museum of obligations. 4 years slipped away like that. $84,000 gone. A down payment, a degree, a future. All traded for their comfort. I told myself it was love. But love shouldn't hollow you out. Jessica from accounting asked one day, "Are you okay?" I smiled the way tired people do. "Just saving," I said. She didn't believe me. Over coffee, everything spilled out. The payments. The promises. The silence. She did the math on a napkin. You can't set yourself on fire to keep them warm." I stared at the numbers, dizzy and ashamed. Her words echoed in my chest. She wasn't cruel. She was right. That night, I stared at my phone screen. 4 years of automatic withdrawals blinked back at me. My finger hovered over the button. Cancel transfer. The air felt heavy. My heart raced. Then I pressed confirm. A click. A breath. A beginning. The morning after, sunlight felt different. Quiet, clean, almost unfamiliar. For the first time in 4 years, my paycheck was mine. I made coffee slowly, tasting freedom in each sip. Then my phone buzzed. Dad's name. I didn't answer. The voicemail came minutes later, sharp and angry. "What you did was selfish, Mai. We supported you all your life." I deleted it without listening twice. By noon, Mom had left 4 messages. Each one softer, more tearful, more manipulative. "You don't understand how hard things are. I thought family meant something to you." I blocked her too. Silence filled the space they used to occupy. It was terrifying at first. Like walking out into winter without a coat. But beneath the chill was something warm. Relief. I met Jessica again after work. She smiled when I told her I had canceled the payments. "Good, now what's next?" I didn't know yet. She pulled out her phone, found a financial advisor's contact. "Start there," she said. The office smelled of paper and lemon polish. The advisor, Ms. Tran, scrolled through my statements quietly. Then she looked up. 84,000 over 4 years. I nodded. Her tone softened, but her words cut clean. This isn't help, it's exploitation. I inhaled sharply. The word lodged in my chest. Exploitation. It felt ugly, true, and freeing all at once. She helped me build a budget, step by step. Emergency fund. Investment account. Education savings. For every number she added, I felt lighter. When I left her office, the city looked brighter. Even the cold air felt kind. That night, I cooked a real dinner. No noodles. No guilt. I opened my laptop and re-enrolled in my MBA program. The acceptance letter blinked on the screen like a small victory. I whispered to myself, "Welcome back." Days passed without calls from home. Then came the texts from relatives. Aunt Hoa. Cousin Nam. All with the same message. Your parents are heartbroken. How could you? I didn't reply. Jessica called it the flying monkeys. Classic guilt campaign, she laughed. I almost laughed too. But later that night, the guilt crawled back. What if they couldn't pay? What if they lost the house? I opened my banking app again. The transfer button blinked like temptation. Then I remembered Ms. Tran's voice. You're not their bank, you're their daughter. I closed the app. The next day, I met with my boss. He offered me a new project lead role. You've been consistent and sharp, he said. Recognition felt strange. Real. I went home and watched the sunset through my own window. Mine. No one's burden attached. My phone stayed silent. The quiet didn't hurt anymore. It sounded like peace. 3 weeks passed before they came to my door. I knew the knock before I heard it. 3 sharp raps. Dad's signature. I opened it slowly. He stood there stiff, jaw tight, eyes burning. Mom beside him, clutching a photo album like a shield. This has gone on long enough, he said. You've embarrassed us, everyone's talking. I stepped aside, but didn't invite them in. He pushed past me anyway. Mom followed, voice trembling. We just want to talk. You mean lecture, I said quietly. Dad's tone hardened. You've abandoned your family, over a little help. 84,000 isn't little, I replied. He flinched but didn't stop. We did everything for you. Mom began to cry softly. After all our sacrifices, this is how you repay us. I wanted to crumble. The old reflex of guilt still strong. But I remembered Jessica's words. You can love them without letting them use you. I breathed slowly. I love you both, I said. But your mortgage is not my responsibility. The silence that followed felt endless. Dad's face turned red. So that's it, you're leaving us to drown. I'm letting you swim, I whispered. He didn't understand. He never would. They left 7 minutes later. Mom sobbing, Dad rigid with fury. The door clicked shut behind them. I slid to the floor, shaking. Tears came hot and fast. Grief for what never really existed. But beneath the pain was something steady. Freedom settling into my bones. That night, I slept 8 hours straight. The next morning, sunlight spilled through clean curtains. My phone stayed quiet for once. I walked to work lighter than I'd felt in years. When I arrived, my boss called me in. We're promoting you, he said simply. Your leadership's been noticed. For a moment, I couldn't speak. Recognition felt unreal. Real enough to make me cry in the restroom later. That evening, I bought flowers. Not for anyone else. For me. I placed them by the window, beside a candle. No apologies. Just color. 2 weeks later, an aunt called again. Your parents said you're unstable. I laughed softly. I'm the calmest I've ever been. After I hung up, I made a list titled My Life. First line, no more guilt disguised as love. Second line, freedom is expensive but worth every cent. I reread the list every morning. Each word a small rebellion. Each breath a declaration. When I walked past a mirror one night, I stopped. For the first time, I recognized the woman staring back. Not the good daughter. Not the savior. Just my whole enough. 6 months later, the city finally felt like mine. New skyline, new rhythm, new breath. I moved into a small apartment overlooking the river. Morning light touched my walls instead of guilt. I brewed coffee and didn't check my bank app. The number there was growing, not bleeding. I laughed softly at the absurdity of peace. At work, my team looked to me for direction. I gave it with confidence I didn't know I had. My name appeared in company emails beside the word lead. It felt like oxygen. No one interrupted me mid-sentence. No one compared me to anyone else. At night, I joined a local hiking group. Strangers who talked about mountains, not family drama. They asked what I liked, not who I disappointed. Each trail felt like reclaiming territory inside myself. One Saturday, I reached a summit and screamed. The wind carried the sound until it disappeared. It felt like a prayer answered by the sky. I met new friends who laughed easily. We shared stories over cheap pizza and good wine. No one demanded pieces of me I couldn't give. I learned to say no without apology, to rest without shame, to spend money without panic. My world was no longer built on just this once. I took a cooking class at the community center. The teacher called me chef when I plated my first lasagna. I smiled whiter than I had in years. That evening, I walked home through the glowing streets. Music drifted from open windows. A man strummed guitar outside a cafe. I dropped $1 in his case, whispered thank you. Freedom had a soundtrack now. I reconnected with Lynn through cautious texts. She asked if I was doing okay. Better than okay, I wrote back. Weeks passed before she told me she'd confronted them. They lied to both of us, she said. Her voice cracked but didn't break. We talked for hours, untangling years of manipulation. For the first time, we sounded like sisters. Not rivals in a contest we never entered. When I closed the phone, I cried quietly. Not from sadness. From relief. The circle was finally breaking. Mom still posted quotes about ungrateful children. Dad still pretended to be the hero of his own story. I didn't correct them anymore. Silence was my final answer. Instead, I built something new. Savings. Friendships. A sense of self not measured by sacrifice. Every paycheck now carried my name and my purpose. Every sunrise whispered, "You're free." I began journaling again, one line each night. Today, I chose myself. Some days the words trembled. Other days they glowed. Either way, they were mine. And that was enough. The message came on a quiet morning. A photo from a friend in my hometown. A banner hung across my parents' old house. Bold red letters shouting a lie. Congratulations, Lynn, for saving the family home. My coffee went cold in my hands. For a long time, I couldn't breathe. 4 years. $84,000. Erased. Rewritten into someone else's story. Anger rose like fire in my throat. I opened my laptop and started searching. Bank statements. Transfers. Screenshots of just this once. Every desperate text from Mom. Every promise from Dad. I printed them all, page after page. The sound of the printer was a heartbeat. A pulse of truth. That evening, Lynn called. Her voice shook. I swear I didn't know. They told everyone it was me. I believed her. It wasn't her lie, it was theirs. They're hosting a dinner, she whispered. A celebration for my sacrifice. I stared at the screen, numb. Then something inside me clicked into place. I'll be there, I said. The night of the dinner, I wore a charcoal suit. the kind that made me stand tall. The house looked the same, pretending nothing had changed. Laughter floated through the windows. I stepped inside. Mom froze mid-toast. Dad's smile cracked. "My, what a surprise," she said, brittle and bright. I smiled back, calm and cold. "May I add something to the presentation?" Dad nodded, arrogant in his control. "Of course, our younger daughter wants to honor her sister." I connected my laptop to their projector. Their slideshow vanished. My first slide appeared. 48 months, $84,000, the truth. The room went silent. I clicked again. Screenshots filled the screen. Mom's messages. Dad's excuses. Each one a confession. Whispers rippled through the guests. Aunts. Cousins. Old friends, shifting uncomfortably. Dad hissed, "You're humiliating us." I met his eyes. "If the truth embarrasses you, maybe it should." Another slide, receipts of golf trips and fine dinners. The cost of their comfort laid bare. Mom's voice cracked. "This is private, Mai." "Private like your banner?" I asked. Gasps spread through the room. Lynn stepped forward. "I stand with her," she said quietly. Her words echoed louder than any applause. For the first time, we were equals. Sisters, not opposites. The guests began a clap. Slow at first. Then certain. Years of silence broke like glass. My parents stood frozen in their shame. I didn't wait for forgiveness. I didn't need it. When I left that house, the air outside felt electric. Cool. Clean. Mine. The night sky looked like possibility. And for the first time, the story finally belonged to me. 6 months after the confrontation, peace grew quietly. Seattle mornings smelled like coffee and rain. I sat by the window of my new apartment, watching ferries drift across the bay. The light was softer here, forgiving. Lynn visited often now. We met at a small cafe with cracked tables and kind music. She laughed more these days, without the lawyer's armor. "I still can't believe they showed up with papers," she said. "They wanted to add your name to the deed." I stirred my tea slowly. "Their version of an apology," I said. Lynn smiled. "And you turned it down." "I already own something better," I answered. "Freedom." Outside, gulls screamed over the water. We both laughed, and it didn't sound broken. Later that day, I checked my inbox. An email from the company board. Promotion confirmed, Vice President of Compliance. The words glowed on the screen like sunrise. I took a photo and sent it to Lynn. Her reply came fast. "You deserve every bit of it." That night, I celebrated with friends from work. Jessica raised her glass. "To boundaries and beginnings," she said. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. No one asked about family. No one needed to. When I went home, I opened my journal. Year 1 of my real life, I wrote. Under it, 3 truths. Worth isn't measured by sacrifice. Love without respect is just use. Starting over is courage, not failure. Weeks passed. I started teaching a financial boundaries workshop at the community center. 20 women came the first night. By the 3rd week, the room was full. A young woman raised her hand, voice shaking. "What if it's your parents?" she asked. I smiled gently. "Especially then," I said. The class grew quiet. Then one by one, heads nodded. It felt like something sacred passing between us. Lynn and I planned our first trip together. Not for work. Not for family duty. Just joy. We argued playfully about destinations. Italy, Japan, maybe New Zealand. Anywhere the past couldn't follow. When she left that evening, she hugged me tight. "For the first time," she whispered, "we're on the same side." I watched her walk away under the streetlights, her shoulders lighter. The city hummed around me, alive and endless. That night, I stood on my balcony, glass of wine in hand. Below, lights rippled across the harbor. No messages demanding money. No calls drenched in guilt. Only the sound of my own breathing. The peace felt earned, not borrowed. I closed my eyes and whispered thank you to myself. In the distance, the mountains turned gold, then violet. A new day rising. And I, no longer someone's shadow, but my own sun. Evening settles over the city like silk. The skyline burns gold, then softens into blue. I lean on the balcony, glass of tea in hand. The world feels wide and still at once. I think of the girl I used to be. The one who measured love by what she could give. The one who mistook silence for peace. She's gone now, but I carry her lessons. My phone stays quiet on the table. No calls. No guilt. Just the hum of the city breathing with me. Inside, a suitcase waits by the door. Tomorrow, Lynn and I fly east for our first sisters' trip. No speeches, no secrets, no debts. Only laughter waiting on another shore. I close my journal and write one last line. Freedom is not running away. It's coming home to yourself. The words settle like light in my chest. The air tastes like salt and beginning. I whisper to the wind, steady and sure. I am whole now. I am home.